Well, here we go again, guys. It's the Art Van Man coming at you in a bit of a rain. A little rain tonight, a little pitter patter. We might get some background noise, and I'm actually running the engine tonight from the van to kind of see how that flies. See if we get some audio in here. See if maybe I can get some cooler temps in here while I'm talking about nonsense. So I was gonna do a video about Dragonlord Mini-Set, right? The Dragonlord Mini-Set's coming out in a few weeks, and I will talk about it for a minute. All right, I ran this poll in the Sorcery Community Facebook group, and I asked people, what are we hearing about distribution of this product, right? Because I did a video, several videos talking about this, where I thought that the Dragonlord Mini-Set would be a premium, like specialized kind of a different type of product offering that would be very much more limited printed than the core sets. I always thought that, like, why would you print like a ton of this? It's very small. It's one pack. It's 13 cards in one foil, so 14 cards in the pack. $59 price point. They're all uniques, so you get all of the cards you need to play in one pack. So you don't need to print a lot, right? That's been my thesis all along. So I thought it'd be limited, and now here we are. Company said last Thursday, I think it was, they announced that the the pre-orders for stores with distribution would start happening this week, Monday, which was July 7th. And here we are now. What day is it today? It's Wednesday night, guys. It's Wednesday night, and none of the distributors around the world, as far as I know, have this product listed for order, right? So you can't get it at Southern Hobby, at Peach State Hobby, Peach State Distribution, PhD, Southern Hobby, Soho. In the U.S., in the Facebook group, again, there's the community group. There's people all over the world, over 5,000 people. So everyone started reporting in. They said in Canada, nothing. In UK, nothing. Europe, nothing. Guy in Italy can't get it. He said it's only for brick and mortar. LGSs can't get it. This is just intel we're getting from the community. Sometimes it's not always accurate. Sometimes people have an axe to grind. I don't know. I'm just reporting the news, and I'm telling you where the chatter happens, where you get the pulse of the community in the Facebook community group. And this is what people are saying. They're like, the common message is it's not available for pre-order yet. So I don't know. Maybe things are delayed a bit. Who knows? But in any case, the expectation seems to be, with people that got a hold of their distribution rep, is that it's going to be very heavily allocated. And there's been mixed reports on the allocation. Some are saying it's based on, there was this innkeeper thing. If you back the game at Kickstarter as a retailer, you were part of the innkeeper network. So you were a store that was officially registered with Sorcery, and you got priority distribution or guaranteed distribution on the first wave of beta. Now there's the Play Network. You could register and opt into the Play Network and host events. Some people are saying if you've been hosting events, you're going to get priority allocation. Some people are saying it's going to be the good old-fashioned way with distribution, that it's based on sales volume that you do with Sorcery and or other games. So the volume you do with that distributor, they want to move the product, get it off their books. They churn product, right? So they want to sell it to to their loyal large volume retailers that purchase products. So it makes sense in some ways, but it kind of cuts out the smaller stores that do less volume, that system, right? That's the problematic nature of it. So new, smaller, emerging, budding LGSs that might be super passionate and great at growing their local community are cut out in that scenario. So it's a very difficult problem, especially with a limited product. Not everybody's going to have it. And then you have the Team Covenant dynamic, where they tend to get a very large amount of product because they have it constantly available for order month after month after month through their website. So that kind of burns stores, especially in a very limited, highly allocated environment. Highly allocated means you get very little of it, right? There's little that goes to each of the stores. It may be widespread, maybe not. Maybe there's disproportionate allocation, but it means it's limited. You're probably not going to get a lot as a store, if any. You might get very little or almost nothing. And meanwhile, Team Covenant's getting it. So with Eric's Curios selling a lot through Team Covenant, a lot of the stores are getting bent out of shape and upset about that. So that's what we know so far about distribution of Dragonlord Mini-Set. As far as we know, the release date is still solid. August 2nd is when the product's supposed to come out, but not available for pre-order from distribution yet, so we don't know what the quantities are looking like. That will be the next thing. I'm getting over a cold, guys. I apologize. That will be the next shoe to drop, and the next thing we need to know about, is it truly very limited, right? I think that'll be the tell once stores start getting their numbers. All right, so moving on to, the dynamic I felt over the past years, there's been this very heavy emphasis from the company, from Eric Curiosa, on gameplay, which is great because it's a game, right? You got to play it. You want to get players involved because that's a big, big part of the market, is a game that's meant to be played. But it's also meant to be collected, and this is a beautiful, beautiful state-of-the-art unicorn art project, right? So, I felt that the content creator kind of support and push, the types of videos they share, it always tends to be gameplay, a lot of features of stores covering events. All that's very important. That's great. But, I felt personally it's a little lacking on the art side. And of course, I'm going to be biased because I'm the art guy. I love the art. That's my first passion and love and motivation for sorcery. I'm a lover of art. I love to collect original hand painted art. And here there is a lot of focus on gameplay, which, is important. But I think you got to balance and do both. And, that seems to be more and more the case. There was this announcement with SCG. The SCG conventions are very tournament play oriented, right? So you get a lot of players out there, not as much art focused. There's not an art gallery like certainly an art show like the Lexicon event, or these other events like Gen Con that has an artist alley. So there's a heavy art presence. It's more gameplay oriented. And now, the thing is, there's always been like what a lot of people felt is kind of mixed messages with sorcery. Like, is it really a casual kitchen table TCG? Is it more of a competitive game? Will there ever be a competitive scene? Is it an art project first, or is it gameplay focused first, or are those equally weighted? But we see gameplay, tournaments now, which is interesting because initially it was marketed as a boutique passion project, were the words that Eric would always use, and Simon in the early marketing, right? That it's a passion project. It's about casual kitchen table play. It's not so much about competitive play. But now there's a very competitive league, which is great. I mean, it pulls in competitive players. That's an important interest group too. But now there's the SCG tournaments. There's the Cornerstone tournaments, right? And there's a lot of focus on prize support, high-end prize support. You could win these special promo cards. There's some speculation. Is there going to be original paintings? And there has been at Gen Con. Will there be at these SCG tournaments? If there's tournaments there, or some of these other events, the Worlds event, I don't think the pricing is quite clear for that one, as far as I know just yet. But there's a lot of push on competitive play, and it makes you wonder if stores are getting less product. LGSs have less access. There's more direct access through one partner. What's going to happen? Team Covenant is offering one per customer, which is another tell that maybe it's going to be very limited through stores. Stores aren't going to get a lot of products, so they're only going to be able to offer very little that they get, or limit orders, right? You can't get like a case or many cases like sometimes you could with core sets. Maybe you could only get a box or two or three. I don't know. We don't know that yet, but it seems like it's going to be limited, right? So if the stores don't get it, and all the players, all the collectors have to go buy it from Team Covenant, then you're funneling all the business to Team Covenant, and then the stores get upset. So between stores not having the access, new stores that want to onboard, that's always kind of been a thing that's stymied growth, in my opinion. And now Dragonlord's going to be tough maybe for stores to get, and you're pivoting, again, trafficking or pushing traffic to Team Covenant to buy. They're a great partner. No shade on them. I think that's great, but I would like to see broader, widespread accessibility for more and more stores, and I think it's difficult when you print limited. So that's a difficult challenge of the company. But also there's this prevalence of tournaments, competition, tournament scene. It doesn't feel very early days sorcery anymore, right? So are they going more towards this catering to competitive play, high-end prizing, or is that their angle to try to get more players into the game? That could work. That could be positive. But I just wonder, like, does this want to be a competitive game now? Is that the direction sorcery is going, and is that good? Is that healthy? One of the things you lose in that is, I think you lose some of the appreciation for the art and some of the nuance and some of the unicorn interesting nature of sorcery being kind of like a renegade rogue project that, like, Eric's just going to do his own thing. Eric was a great art director with Grinding Gear Games and Path of Exile, and here he is, like, I think, like, maybe the greatest art director in the world, creating his own TCG, and it shows in the product, the aesthetics, the beautiful art. Will people continue to appreciate that if we continue to foster a culture and community of more competitive play, more tournament, gather in person in tournament setting and play instead of LGS, more casual, once a year, play at home, play with your friends and family, maybe go to a Sorcery Con once a year, maybe go to Gen Con once a year, Spiel Essen once a year. So, I know I've been saying like go to events, go to events, go to events. I think SCG Con is great. I think Gen Con is great. I think Spiel Essen is great because I want to create awareness for the game, for the project, but I also don't want the project to lose its identity and its roots and the dedication to hand painted art because I think that's tremendously important. So I'll be interested to see with SCG Con as the new partner, with all this push of more and more tournaments, and some of them are community tournaments, and a lot of the old schoolers and Sorcery Con brings out tons of artists and Explorer Series. I think has had some artists at times. So there still is that aspect in that it's still rooted in the community as of now, right? And I just hope that culture doesn't pivot away from the art and appreciation for the art. I think with a lot of these indies, they do digital art. They don't really emphasize the art as much. I mean, like people think the digital looks cool, but like you don't go to an event and see tons of artists or see like traditional hand painted art in person because it's digital, right? So maybe they're selling prints or maybe they did replicas painted of their digital work, which is kind of cool in a different way. But I guess my point is, I'm a little confused on this tournament push. Like, is it a pivot or is that a growth catalyst? Is it meant to be a growth of the player segments? And what are we going to do to foster the passion for traditional hand painted art? That's something I'm certainly going to do, and I've done since day one because that's what I believe in. And there's a thing, some people say, someone told me recently, Mike, you're polarizing. People don't understand these spicy meatballs from upstate New York, Western New York, with your cynical humor and your jokes. You're joking around all the time, busting chops and stuff. And people bust chops with me too, right? But I mean, I just like to joke around and pal around. But it's a thing called it's a three words I can answer this. Authenticity, right? Authenticity. Those are the three words. And I just am who I am. I love art. I'm passionate about it. I love TCGs. I think they're fun. I've played some younger in life when I had more time and less kids. But now I'm into like art and I like the collecting scene. But I embrace all of the different aspects of the community, right? Like the community group. It has everybody, over 5,000 people of all interest categories. Players are in there, and a lot of the players. What I love about Sorcery is these players love the art. There's so many players that are collecting art for the first time, paintings, artist proofs, altars, and I'm not shilling. But people are like, here we go, here he goes. He's trying to sell something. No, I mean, I feel genuinely motivated, intrinsically motivated and excited about artists getting opportunity. In Sorcery, they own their own copyrights. They get to offer their work however they want, and they do very well with that, right? Because they don't have to give away licensing agreements to the company. They could sell their own artwork however they like to, partner with whoever like to, do whatever they want to. And it really moves the needle. And then the altars, where there's art appreciation, the altars get an opportunity, right? Where maybe it's less appreciated in other games. You have altarists painting on cards for a game that is so dedicated to hand painted art that they're more appreciated. They get opportunities. People like Atlas Thorn get an opportunity with the company, get commissioned. Big breakthrough, great awareness for him. Super happy. So it's just a more fun ecosystem because it's more balanced, it's more diverse, right? Diversity is the big buzzword in the world these days, right? It's great to have diversity, cultural, um, even the spicy meatballs from New York, and the left coasters who are a little more casual and laid back and less high energy. Um, it's great to have all types of different people. They're interesting. It makes things more interesting, more diverse, more fun. You have art lovers. You have hardcore game players, competitive game players. You have casual game players. You have people that love art and love playing games. Sorcery's got it all. It's got a beautiful balance right now, and I just want to see that continue and not get cliquish and not people gaslighting each other and getting upset and bickering and fighting over nonsense. Embrace everybody, man. Have fun. Enjoy the game how you want to enjoy it. We're at a precipice here for Sorcery. A lot of tournaments coming up. We're going to see how that's going to change the dynamic of the game, the project, the community's dynamics, the interest categories, the type of people it attracts to the game. Let's keep that focus on loving the artwork and appreciating the artists as well. And yeah, going to events too, community events and conventions. It's all great. It's all great to get together. So it's kind of all over the place on this one, guys. A lot going on with Dragonlord distribution, a lot going on with the focus of the game, the proliferation of tournament play opportunities, and getting together in the flesh and blood. I don't know, man. It feels kind of flesh and bloody at times, but it's sorcery, and we're gonna get together to play in person sorcery, the casual boutique kitchen table game. It's a little different. I don't know what direction we're going here, how it's gonna play out, but I think the game's gonna grow. I'll tell you that much, and I hope it's healthy growth and good people come in, and I hope it retains the friends we've made over the past 3 years. I hate to see people leave. I don't want to see any stores leave too. There's some stores getting frustrated and saying they're falling off. Stick it out, man. Let's see how these next 6 to 12 months go. I think a lot of stuff to be excited about. All right, take care, guys. I'll talk to you in a couple days. Live event Friday night. We're going to break some alpha boxes and have a great time. Showcase some original art like we always do. Take care, guys. See ya.